I said? You don't have a problem. You have an opportunity to show victory. You aren't hearing me. You don't have a prison. You have an opportunity to see all the jailers saved. You don't hear what I'm saying? Veiled people can't see things. Revelation removes a veil. Revelation gives you an understanding. Revelation, that's why Jesus said you have eyes but you don't see. You have ears but you don't hear. Revelation is the Spirit of God operating through you with a throne room perspective to show you. If you could see with the eyes of the Spirit, if you could hear with the ear of the Spirit, your language would change, your mind would change, your money would change, your situation would change. He said, prophesy to the south wind. South wind is mentioned 5 times. It's the strong side of the right hand. It means the place of authority. Now watch the order, because west wind, you deal with the locust. You deal with the devourer. Then you deal with revelation. He said, now I want you to prophesy to the south wind, which is the strong side of the right hand. It always means exousia. Exousia is authority. Psalm chapter 78, verse 26. He caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. So south wind always brings the power of God, the exousia, the authority. See, exousia has more to do. You're thinking just power, but exousia has to do with jurisdiction. It means what you have authority over. It means what you have jurisdiction. If you have jurisdiction, why are we in the elementary schools? Why are we seeing Apopka change? Why do we understand we bring the will of God to pass through the power of prayer? But we understand apostolic ministry because I own Apopka for the glory of God. Oh, you didn't hear what I just said? You're acting like you lease in life. You don't own in life. I don't lease anything in life. I own everything in life. Pastor Edwards. They aren't hearing me. You act like you're in a lease. You've been renting too long. You've been leasing too long. Don't make me go send you back to Africa where you got to have money to be able to get something. You become too Americanized. Come on. You become too, you think you can lease things. You got to have faith to be an owner. Own your destiny. Own your purpose. Own your anointing. Own your power. Get over here in America and the devils are slick over here. The devils are, they're sly over here. Because they'll make you feel comfortable and get you right in a trap where you're $500,000 in debt, have no power, all stressed out, and think you live in large. You are better off begging God when you had to pray through and believing for food. You aren't here because at least you are releasing, you are owning. They didn't like that, Pastor. They didn't like that, apostle. But it's the truth anyhow. Because God's looking for someone to understand you aren't here just to lease something. You're here to possess. You're here to own. Own your destiny. Own your mantle. Own your calling. Own your purpose. Own what God has sent you into the earth for. Exousia is jurisdiction. Oh, yes. Let me tell you something. My son was a crack addict and acting all crazy. People said, what do you do? I didn't do this as Pastor Paula. I took anointed prayer class. I took anointing on. I'd lay in his room for hours. I'd prophesy over that. You wait till he comes into his season. Lay there. Not as a pastor. Not as a prophet. Not as an apostle. But as a mother and a woman of God. And I said, devil, you got the wrong house. Because that came from here. That's my seed. Oh, you don't understand. You see, you got your children. You birth a ministry, that's your seed. But whatever you have produced in this earth that has come forth out of you, because God does not allow anything to happen that he doesn't use somebody that he partners with in the earth. Whatever you have produced, tell the enemy, get your hands off in the name of Jesus. I laid on his bed. I put anointed oil cloths. socks and his Converse tennis shoes. I sold them in his drawers, put them in his pants. And he'd come out, Pastor Edward, and he'd say, I got you. I'd say, no, son, I got you. I said, because you should have been dead 3 months ago. He said, he thought he's just discovered. I said, that's been in there for 6 months. I said, God has you. God has you. And he'd shake his fist so angry because I'd say, why were you at ta-ta-ta-ta? And I'd download to him exactly where he was and what he was doing. And he'd say, why does your God tell you everything? I said, because I live in the throne room. I said, I got throne perspective and I see the greatness on the inside of you. Jurisdiction. I didn't give up my jurisdiction over my son. I have jurisdiction over New Destiny. I have jurisdiction in Apopka, Florida. I have jurisdiction in nations. Your metron and your measure is determined by God. But when you know your jurisdiction, when you know your authority, you walk in your authority as a believer. You don't let the enemy have your family. You don't let the enemy have your child. I'm going to say something bold. I wish I wasn't on camera right now. And people say, why did you go through certain things? Maybe I'll explain the depths of spirituality one day. Because they'll say, why did certain things happen in your life? They looked like such loss. And there was tremendous loss. There was tremendous breaking. Because I didn't have jurisdiction over certain things. And I can never go over authority that had jurisdiction over that.